Angélica is authentically caring. She's a fierce advocate. She's real.
As I said, Angélica she's one of those people I want to be when I grow up. She's full of life. She's a person who's really not even 100%, like 150%, and kind of nonstop. She's got incredible resilience and fights for her students as a first-gen student herself. So I knew Angélica slightly as an undergrad, and then as vice provost hired her back. It was probably one of the best things I did as vice provost was hire her to direct high potential. Not just how do we support different students and students of color and marginalized students, but how do we see them as contributing, as what they bring in terms of excellence?
She was relentless in seeking out the good of each of the students in the high potential program. Truly a good shepherd. You know, she would go out in the limb that no one gets lost. Her students aren't objects or X's or O's in a box to her. They're individuals, fully realized, and each of them needs to be approached in an individual manner. She did that here when she was here. She did that at Cathedral High School. I'm sure she's doing that in San Mateo. She is a lifelong LaSallian.
So for her to take the leap into the community college system, which is an incredible access point for so many students who otherwise wouldn't have that chance. I don't know if you know Skyline, but it's like the mover and shaker of community colleges in California that she is bringing to feel like it's humanistic and it's personal and it's meeting as many students as possible. And I think Angélica with her team over there is making incredible strides for those students.
Angélica, as a leader in that position, she understands that being in a space of influence and consequence has the potential to have a great impact on a student's life, and not just their own life, but the life of their families as well as their community.
Signum Fidei is a special title to the Christian Brothers. It means the sign of faith. And right now, Angélica is an ambassador of everything that the Christian Brothers and the LaSallian world stands for, and she does that in the secular world down there in San Mateo. She truly is. She's a sign of faith.
So Angélica is the first woman of color to win this award, the Signum Fidei Award, and being in this position and receiving this award, she reflects the students that we serve, and not only reflects them in a way that they're able to see and discover their true self, but she's serving as a window to show them what does the next step look like, what does the future look like, what does potential hold. I feel blessed to know her as a professional inspiration, as a colleague, as a mentor, and most importantly, my hermana. On behalf of the St. Mary's Alumni Association, it is my honor to award the Signum Fidei Award to Dr. Angélica Garcia. Congratulations, Angélica.
And it's a real testament to an educator. You got 3 tables of people in this room and more, including former students, professors, people that have influenced you. You are a product of the Christian Brothers schools.
I know, they let me in.
Yeah, they let you in, they took a chance, and look at you now.
Yeah.
And starting in high school,
Mm-hmm.
how did that influence you to be an educator?
My mom took a chance along with all of my family that sacrificed. I mean, I am hundreds of people sitting up here. It's not just me. And so my mom took a chance and took a lot of jobs and sent me to Catholic school. And so I'm originally from Fresno, California in the Central Valley. And I went to San Joaquin Memorial, which at the time was a Christian Brothers school. I played basketball, and anyone who knows my mom knows that it was about school. So one of the things I remember when she benched me from my own game because I didn't do well on a chemistry test, and my coach, I was a starter, and my mom told Coach Farmer that I wasn't allowed to play the game, but that I could sit and cheer my team on. And to know that story is to know that I sit here because of that, along with the charism of the brothers. And how I got to St. Mary's was I was playing softball, and we were playing a doubleheader against Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep. We stayed, I think it was Benilde Hall or something. The brothers used to live there. And I remember thinking, if this is quiet, there are deer walking around and nothing at all like my community, and so I came here for college. So, I don't know if anyone else can say that. It was for the deer and quiet. But
So you were obviously a student here, but you've been back in so many different capacities, probably more than people know, not the least of which is serving on the alumni board with me. I know that was big
fun.
for you.
Brief, but fun, yeah.
But what was it like to come back in so many different, to give back in so many different ways after your education?
You know, I think that the opportunity to come and be the director of the High Potential Program was the perfect combination of who I am, I think, as a person that really believes in family and culture and social justice, what I believe education is about. It's about access. I don't think it should be restricted. I don't think it should be just for the few. It should be for the democracy. It should be for our entire community. And serving as director of the High Potential Program was that experience, was the ability to be a part of a program here with first-gen, low-income, predominantly students of color. And my intention when I took the job was I wanted every single HP student to just take over the campus. I wanted them to be the most resident advisors, in the associated students, in the best paying internships and jobs, and just promote that the face of who we are as communities of color, our leaders are exemplary and can set the model for generations of people to come after us.
Well, I know this is about you, but I have to say personally, thank you, because you have created safe space on this campus for me and people like me, you, and there's Pamela George and Dorothy Benjamin. People like you have created a slot for me and made St. Mary's feel like home. So I'm just so appreciative personally for everything that you are and have done.
Thank you, Tucson. That was lovely.
Tucson and I are lucky that we know you. And it was not a surprise to us when we were talking to people about you winning this award. And everyone says her passion, her enthusiasm, her confidence, her compassion, you exude it. People that know you admire that. How does that come to play as an educator? What does that do for you as an educator?
It's precisely how I show up as an educator and as a leader. Whether I'm in direct service, I'm looking at Leanne and Madeline and Cesar, who were students in Cesar I knew, gosh, when they let me be a high school teacher, that young man, so he's known me since way back in the day. But, from the students who literally would run away from me when they saw me walking across campus because they knew I had to talk to them about something, to where I sit now, where I get the privilege to work with a dynamic team, a phenomenal leader in the California community college system, and I get to sit in positions where how I view the world and how I think about my community, my faith, what it means to really touch the hearts of those entrusted into your care when making a budget decision. Like, that's the kind of space we need to be able to take up as educated leaders, that it's not for show. It's for those points where when we can fundamentally change the life of another person, we need to be able to bring the full bear of who we are as people to do that. And so I don't know how to do that any other way, quite honestly. And I think that getting the college education here was just opening the doors, literally, for me to merge what I see as my family upbringing, my cultural upbringing, my educational training, and I feel like I'm just starting. I'm having a lot of fun doing that, and in a lot of ways I think that it started here because those of you who know my wife, Maria, is also a graduate of the class of 1998, and one of the projects that we worked on here was we wanted to have a diversity conversation, and I remember at the time someone said, well, that's going to cost money. And so we must have asked like 60 different people on this campus all over the place. And that is one of the projects that I'm most proud of. And that example started here and has just been part of how I do my job in my life. So.
Thank you so much, Angélica.